What's up, gang? Case here with our CrossFit Metcon for Monday, March 8th. 2,000 meter row benchmark test today. This is one that we revisit at least a couple, maybe a few times a year. Also, we've been rowing a lot over the winter. We'll be transitioning to more running as the weather gets warmer, but we still will row some. So this is a great time to test our row to see if we've gained some capacity over the winter on this movement. Also, just a great overall conditioning test, great capacity test. You've got to use your full body, seeing how high you can keep that output for 7 to 9 minutes, which is where most of us will be for a time domain on this row. Technique piece today. We always talk about sitting up tall and trying to keep our heels down through as much of the movement as we can, because what happens when we don't sit up tall or when we get up in our toes and we let our tailbone tuck under is we bypass our posterior chain at that point. So we're not using our hamstrings, our glutes, and our back as much when we get in this rounded and heels up position. So the taller that we can sit, keeping those hips tilted back. It's okay if that heel comes up a little bit on the return right at the end, but we want to drive that heel back down, try to keep this back as flat as we can, because that's going to allow us to use our back muscles as well as our butt and our hamstrings a lot more. You'll still be using your quads and your arms as well. You just won't be only using your quads and arms. So once again, up tall, as we reach in, heel comes up just a little bit, but then we punch the heel down, drive through the heel, lean back, and then finish with that pull at the end. Also, keep that chain in a straight line throughout your motion. Try to minimize a bunch of up and down motion during this row. Straight in, straight out is going to be the most efficient technique. Don't forget about your cadence today as you row. Take a little bit longer on the return, faster on that pull. As far as strategy for this row goes, I like to split it up into 3 sections. My first 500 meters, I'm focusing on staying relaxed and breathing. Those middle 1,000, that's where the workout tends to get tough. So there, I still want to focus on technique. That's going to keep technique from degrading and keep my power from falling off too fast. So as I get tired, as it starts to hurt a little bit, that's when technique falls apart. So that's when you really have to focus on technique to keep your efficiency up. Then when you get to that last 500 meters, you're ticking off 100 meters at a time. That's the point where you're going to want to quit or at least slow down. So your whole goal at that point is to convince yourself to push for another 100 meters. So I get to 1,500 meters. My only goal at that point is 1,600 meters. My only goal after that is 1,700 meters. Breaking it down into those bite-sized chunks so that you can keep that push up until the end. Lastly, don't forget to spot that second line down. That's your pace per 500 meters. As you start, you want to stay a little bit more reserved so that we don't burn out early. Set a pace there that you feel like you can maintain. Try not to let that pace fall off in that middle 1,000 meters. And then when you get to those last 500 meters, you should be trying to push that pace up a little bit more every 100 meters. It's a tough one. Make it hurt a little bit. You're not going to beat yourself up too much on this rower. So good luck today, and we'll see you back tomorrow for Tuesday's workout.